do love our sports, including the serenity of finding just the right place to cast our line, away from everybody. Well, okay, sometimes where the fish are determines how much solitude you'll get. And when it comes to salmon, these pictures tell the story. These are sport fishermen casting for salmon at the mouth of the Klamath River. 2 years of a closed fishery brings out a crowd for a limited 10-day sport season. For recreational fishermen, deep in the throes of doing what they love most, the politics and posturing that has defined California's water debate seem far away. But just as surely as the salmon need to return to their native streams to mate, sport fishermen need to stay involved in the struggle to bring sanity to water politics, to demand clarity of purpose as well as clear fresh water for the health of the salmon fishery, because only active participants have any hope of influencing the outcome.
Turning this water off is not just bad politics, it's an act of domestic terror.
No water for the farmers because of this fish. Is that what it is? This fish here?
Don't bring the Delta! Don't bring the Delta! Don't bring the Delta!
You got to stop, choosing the smell and the salmon over the people and over farming.
The authors of these bills ask us to believe that restoration is best achieved by placing the fate of this estuary in the hands of the architects of its destruction.
The fact of it is, the only fishing industry we have in California, it is like fishing for sport fishing. And those people are still going out. You can still go deep sea fishing out over in Morro Bay. That's not a problem. You just can't catch salmon.
The lack of salmon stock for fishing has really hurt our local fishermen and women. It's very hard for them to make a living anymore, and that's the backbone of Morro Bay, is our fishing and tourist industry. And so many of our tourists actually come to see the fishermen, which is something that people perhaps don't put together in their minds, but it's very much a part of our tourism draw, is the fishing boats in the harbor and actually being able to see them unload, to have that fresh salmon that we used to be able to buy on the dock. That's really important to our economy and just to our whole city image, because that's who we are. We're a fishing village.
That ball comes off,
Yeah.
the tip comes up like that, you got the salmon.
Salmon is important too as a tourist magnet. Down the road from the famous Morro Bay Rock is Verge's Landing and Tackle Shop, a sort of landmark loved by recreational fishermen for decades. They've taken thousands of sport fishermen out on their fleet of boats that have not landed a salmon for 2 years.
Salmon used to be like 18 to 20% of our income. Brought a lot of people. They buy gas, eat in restaurants, stay in motels, and they buy a lot of tackle. We use guys like Flash for salmon. So we sell a lot of gear. It's a big part of our business.
Recreational salmon fishing is a huge business. Small shops like this cater to anglers of all ages, and there are a lot of them. During a normal salmon season, approximately 500,000 fishermen board a boat to find wild California king salmon out on the ocean. Up the coast from Morro Bay, we cross the world's most famous bridge. As we drive across the span, salmon in numbers unknown are swimming underneath and through North America's most magnificent and important estuary, on their way back to the streams of their birth. A trip that not enough of them have been making successfully for a few years, a reality felt all too painfully in this Sausalito marina.
What's sad is nobody's seen this coming. We had such a wonderful fishery and things were going along so good. Then all of a sudden to just have it come to abrupt, you're no longer salmon fishing, it caught everyone by surprise.
And didn't hit anybody until a year after.
Sean and John each own charter boats. For years, they have been able to make a living taking recreational sport fishermen out under the Golden Gate Bridge to catch salmon.
We're taking kids out on the ocean to give them their first ocean experience, let them catch their first salmon of a lifetime. Usually their granddad takes them out, and it's just a family tradition where they pass the fishing on from generation to generation, and that's disappearing.
There is nothing better than watch a child catch a fish. When that fish hits the deck, just the look on their face is a shock. They can't believe they caught something like that. Just to see a child catch a fish is worth it all.
Roger Thomas knows salmon. He's operated a passenger fishing vessel for 40 years. He says recreational salmon fishermen are pretty single-minded.
Salmon is the heart of the fishery for everybody on the coast. The economic impact is tremendous. It affects the fuel dock down here. It affects the launch ramp. It tremendously affects us. Salmon customers, even though they have an opportunity to do some other fisheries, they're dyed-in-the-wool salmon fishermen. They just don't go.
But when they have an opportunity to go, they make the best of it. We're driving on Highway 1, just outside of Fort Bragg, on the way to Eureka. You can feel the impact of recreational salmon fishing here. Business is good.
And did you book directly through us, or?
These boats are being taken to the Woodley Island Marina. The parking lot is full. The restaurant is busy. And there are smiles on the faces of lucky anglers.
Oh, it's wonderful. It really is a lot of fun. It's obviously going to be some great eating.
Smiles because at the end of 2 years of not being allowed to catch salmon, for 10 days, they can.
It was awesome, especially, to hook up that first salmon. It was a rush. It was a rush to actually have that feeling back again. Something that you can't replace.
So what are you going to do with all those guys?
We're going to barbecue them as soon as we get back to the hotel room.
So in the end, this is what it's all about. The thrill of the catch. The satisfaction of landing one of nature's most magnificent creatures.
I love catching salmon. I mean, there's nothing more. It makes your heart beat almost out of your chest when you get a 40-pounder on 24 feet, a 90-pound test. It's a fight. It's just like, there's nothing like it in the world.
Wild California king salmon is all of that and more. Families and communities benefit from the business of recreational sport fishing. The state of California benefits. Consider these verifiable facts. During a normal salmon season, sport and recreational fishermen pour big bucks into the economy. With total sales of over $1.3 billion, another $723 million in wages and salaries, benefits, property, income, and sales tax, and more than 9,000 full and part-time jobs. Clearly, the power of salmon is seen in its economic vitality, one species contributing to a family business or a whole community. But that is only part of its value. Recreation and sport fishermen know the visceral importance of keeping salmon runs healthy, the emotional satisfaction of teaching children the joys and value of these incredible fish, and the need to protect them. 2 years of no salmon fishing is a huge wake-up call, a reminder that there are forces in play that would further weaken the viability of their long-term health. California's water debate is a never-ending challenge, and sport fishermen can make a difference. They understand the value of salmon, the need for water policies that are balanced for both sustainable fisheries and sustainable agriculture, and to act on that understanding by making it clear to policymakers that salmon need water too.
We need salmon water now.
We want salmon. Salmon water now.
We need salmon water yesterday.
Salmon water now.